Yo, what is up guys? So today I'm going to be starting a new series, basically doing a lot of track videos. I haven't done a lot of track videos in the past. I've done maybe like one or two, but I've just really wanted to do more. You know, I have access to a racetrack. I can go every week. And I figured why not post more track content? And there's also not a lot of YouTube channels out there that post a lot of track content. So today, right behind me, I got my Lotus Emira, and I'm going to be taking it on the track, and I'm just going to be kind of, giving my thoughts and opinions, and show you guys how it performs on the track. So before we get into the driving portion, I'm just going to give a little overview of the car. Lotus Emira right here. This is a V6 version. There's also an inline 4 version, but this is the V6. It's got about 400 horsepower, it's supercharged. Now this car doesn't have any extra mods or track setups done to it yet. I don't know if I'm going to add any more, but this car is pretty much bone stock, other than the fact that I have a downpipe, but that doesn't really change the performance that much. This car is fitted with the sport suspension, so there's two different suspension options. You can get touring or sport suspension. This has the sport, so obviously it's helps the handling and all that kind of stuff on the track. It is a manual gearbox, so the mirrors come with automatics and manuals, but manuals is more fun. It's probably a little bit slower, but it is definitely more engaging on the track to drive. And I will say that the gearbox on the Emira is a lot better than the gearbox on the Evora GT. So going into the brakes here, I'm not exactly sure what brand these are, but on the Evora GT, they used AP Racing brakes, calipers and rotors. I believe these are also AP Racing. They just don't have it branded anywhere. Very good brakes. I will say though that they do kind of get a little soft if you don't have racing brake fluid. Now I'm just going to give you guys a little look of the engine right here. Here's the V6, 400 horsepower, supercharged, pretty cool. Not the quickest car for its segment, but it is definitely very loud and sounds really, really good. And just to kind of finish the overview, one of the main things that Lotus really focused on the Emira was adding a lot of aero to the car. So this car actually makes more downforce than the Evora GT did, and Lotus claims it makes the most amount of downforce in its class. Now I don't know what in its class means, but that probably means the Cayman, could even mean a base C8, I don't know. Yeah, so that is the overview of the Emira. So I didn't realize until after I finished filming this video that my lav mic that I had set up in my helmet was actually not connected to the GoPro for some reason. Everything was set up correctly, but the GoPro just didn't recognize it, and I probably should have checked it before, but anyways, so yeah, basically we're kind of stuck with my GoPro's audio, so I'm going to kind of be switching back and forth between this voiceover and the GoPro's microphone, so you guys can still get to hear the car, but I'm going to try to do voiceovers during the time periods where there's lots of wind noise and stuff like that. And you guys, if you're wondering why we can't do windows up and get good audio like the Europeans do, well, in America, our racetracks don't allow us to drive with the windows up, so we're forced to drive with the windows down, so the audio is not great. But yeah, so anyways, we're getting into it. First lap is a warm-up lap, and just taking it easy. Believe the GR86 race car's a little bit ahead of me, but I start to catch up to him towards the end of the first lap, and I think I end up passing him maybe lap 2 or 3. So the thing about Cup 2s is that you only really need one warm-up lap to get them warm. You don't need to keep on doing like a bunch of warm-up laps and stuff like that. So really one lap and they're good to go, and they tend to fall off after a couple laps. So I only did a couple laps this video because after like 5 or 6 laps, the tires kind of get overheated, and I don't want to wear them down because they're pretty expensive to replace. So I think I did like 4 or 5 laps for this video. Coming around the last corner here, this is going on to the main straightaway. Going into lap 2 technically, but the first hot lap. So the turn up here, this is kind of a tricky corner because you're carrying a lot of speed and then you go right into a sharp braking zone. I get down the second gear here, and then as we get over here, I upshift the third. Go over here, the car gets a little slippery on some of these corners just because it's rotating super easily. It's a Lotus, they're always known to rotate. Go off the Brembo strip a little bit right there, but still on the track. Hard braking right here. As you can see, I'm catching up to this Toyota GR86 race car up here.
believe the next lap I passed him. I'm not totally sure, but it's a pretty cool car, you know. But you know, I don't know who the driver was, but I feel like these cars should be a little bit faster. Right there, had a code brown moment. Car kind of got away from me. Maybe the tires weren't fully warmed up yet, but you know, the Lotus is a very, very rotating car. So right here on the straightaway, I probably could have passed him, but he wasn't really waving me by. And you can see right there, you got the blue flag on the officials box right there. There's another blue flag. Now you guys wondering why I don't pass him here, because this is technically not a passing zone. So I wanted to pass him on the back straight, but he didn't wave me by. I don't know if he didn't see me or if he, you know, didn't think I was going to be able to pass him. But basically, there's a couple of blue flags already. So right here, I'm kind of just waiting to pass him and wait till the passing zone, which is coming up right here on this straightaway. Now this corner is kind of weird because it's super tight and a lot of people take it really wide. You actually have to start out really wide and you have to cut it really tight in that corner back there because it's a really odd angle. Now this corner is the higher speed, more kind of downforce-ish corner, and I kind of have another code brown moment right there. The car got away from me. I think it was just because I got on throttle too early. Because the Lotus doesn't have a lot of power, so you can really go flat out, like in high-speed corners. But right there, as you saw, the car kind of got away from me a little bit. Now behind me, there's this Audi race car, and I have no clue what car it is. If you guys know what car this is, let me know in the comments below. But this car was really cruising around the track. I mean, you can see it in my rearview mirror behind me. I let him pass on this straightaway right here, but yeah, he was cruising. Now, so far the car's done well. It's not overheating. The Lotus, I believe, has front radiators like the 992 GT3s do. So the car really cools down a lot on the racetrack, never overheats for me. Gearbox is good. Brakes do get a little soft, though. Towards the last couple laps, the brakes did get a little soft. But everything else is actually going pretty well. Super reliable on the track today. So I'm coming up here. I believe this is another Miata that I eventually passed at some point. Going into the high-speed corner here. It's always kind of weird shifting here because your body's like throwing you to the left, but then like you have to kind of shift third gear to the right side. It doesn't look hard in video, but like in person, I'm like literally like barely shifting in the thirds. It's kind of hard to like keep your weight centered on in the high-speed corners when you have to like shift mid-corner. So at this point, I'm behind the Miata, and now I'm kind of just waiting for the passing zone because you can't pass in the corners, and even that straightaway behind us right there, we're not allowed to pass. So kind of just slowing down a little bit off my normal pace until we get to the straightaway to pass this Miata. Now coming up behind me, I believe is a BMW. I don't know if it's a GT4 or GT3. I just let him pass. He was running a lot faster. I believe there's also a GT4 Club Sport that passes me as well. Maybe this lap or next lap. But yeah, those cars were flying today. This is like technically the A group is what they call it. So it's kind of usually you get a mix of street cars and race cars. This was my last lap coming out, so that kind of wraps it up for this video, and hope you guys enjoyed that track session.
So that wraps up for the video today. If you guys like this video, let me know in the comment section, and I will be making more of these. If you have an Emira, I would highly recommend taking it to the racetrack. It just handles so good, brakes are amazing, and it really pushes above its weight. So that wraps up for the video today, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.